I lost my virginity when I was 13. Is that gross? Yeah, it is. I'm not going to try to convince anyone that's not gross. We're not going to talk about it too much. People ask me too, they're like, how old was she? There's no answer that makes it not gross. When one of you is 13, it's gross. So we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is the conversation I had with a friend of mine the day that I was going to lose my virginity. So I got out of middle school. So gross. I got out of middle school at 3 o'clock. I was going to see this girl at 9 o'clock, right? 6 American hours after I got out of school, I was going to see this girl. And so I'm talking to my friend CJ, and I go, hey man, I'm a little nervous. I'm supposed to have sex tonight. Do you have any advice for me? And he goes, well, I don't have any advice, but let me ask you a question. Are you going to put the condom on now or later? 6 hours before I'm going to see this girl. And we talked, I was 13, he was 14, so he was my elder in this situation. I was looking up to him. And we talked for like a good half hour on the pros and cons of putting on a condom 6 hours before you plan on using it. That's psycho shit. And in my mind, this was my logic. I was like, I should probably put it on now because I don't want to make things all weird later when we're making out and I gotta stop and be like, excuse me, I don't already have a condom on. This is my first time. I know I'm supposed to have it on already. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I'm just gonna go put it on real quick and then I'll come back. And then the next time we have sex, I'll be prepared and I'll already have it on. That's what I thought was the normal, that's how I thought sex went. So just imagine if you're on a date. We're all grown-ups. Just imagine you're on a date with a guy. Everybody take the walk with me, right? You're a straight girl, curious lesbian, or a gay guy. And you're on a date with a guy and you're just sitting there and you're like, this dude's kind of dope. I think I might have sex with this guy tonight. I don't know yet. We'll see how the movie goes, right? So he gets the check, and you guys split it, and he tips the perfect amount, 20% right on the dot. You're super into math, so you're like, yeah, I'm going to fuck this guy tonight. Show this dude what time it is later. But you go to the movie anyways, because you're like, I can wait. And then you're sitting at the movie and you're just staring at the guy, and you're like, I don't want to wait. You just lean over, you're like, you know what? I don't even care if they find Dory or not. Let's go home. I'm not worried about the outcome. I assume they will. It's a Disney movie, so can we just go back to the crib and have animal sex with each other? So you get back to the house, and you're petting, kind of making out a little bit. You go to take his shirt off, and he's got like the perfect body. Like whatever you're into, that's what he's got. If you want a little something, he's got a little something. If you want to shred it up, dude, he's all shredded up. And then you go to take his pants off. He's got like skinny jeans, so you do like a little fun thing. Like, hey, what are we doing? Like wiggle him down. You're like, oh, we're going to have sex, aren't we? And so you wiggle him down, and you get him down to his knees, and then you look up, and he's already got a condom on. Wouldn't that terrify you? I have no idea. Just a rocked up boner with a condom already on it. I have no idea what I would do. I think I'd take a couple steps back, probably. And I'd say, listen, I need to know exactly when you put that on. Because it wasn't just now. I assume the cops are going to want to know at some point. Maybe that's why I've been bad at sex my whole life. And I'm not, every comedian, oh, I'm so bad at sex. I don't think I'm terrible. I just think I'm not that great. It's fine, I think anytime that I lay with a gal, anytime we lay down and make sweet, sweet, passionate love, I think for her, it would be sort of like getting a lottery ticket and just winning your dollar back. Nothing wrong with that, Got $1 out of the deal? Go buy some Skittles. Who doesn't like Skittles? Take that orgasm I almost gave you and go buy some Skittles with it. I like foreplay, I just like making out all night. There's no pressure in that. I'm a foreplay guy. I can preheat the oven, but the pizza comes out kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Sure. That barely makes any sense. This happened to me a while back after a show. I was And this happens quite a bit, actually. I was standing it was here when I still lived in Portland, and a friend of mine came to the show. His name's Steven. He came to the show, and afterwards he walked up to shake my hand, and I've known this kid for like a decade, right? So it's not a stranger. And I was like, Steven, good to see you, man. And his hand was kind of high in the air. He's like, hey, man, good set. My hand's kind of wet. Don't worry, it's water. It's not piss. All right. And he shook my hand. And people always do that. When their hand's wet, people think they need to tell me that it's not piss all over their hand. So let's assume my good friend Steven shook my hand, and his hand was wet, but he didn't tell me that it wasn't piss all over his hand. Not even for a fraction of a second would I have thought that was piss all over your hand. Of course you didn't take your 34-year-old ass into the bathroom, piss all over your hand, walk past all 3 of the sinks in the men's bathroom at Helium Comedy Club, Portland, Oregon, United States of America, Earth, and be like, you know what? Fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. I'll just go rub it all over Sean. That's what I'll do. I don't like sushi. A lot of people can't handle that. It's a cool food to like. I don't like sushi, and adults will tell me, they'll be like, I'll tell them that, hey, you want to go get dinner? And they'll be like, yeah, I'd love to go get dinner. I don't want to go get sushi. I don't like sushi. And grown-ups will look me in the face and they'll be like, yeah, you do. Really? Do I? And what's your logic behind that? They'll be like, you just got to try my sushi guy. He's the best. Everyone's got like their sushi spot. If you're the best at something I hate, that means I hate you the most. Thank you guys. I've been Sean Jordan. Have a good night.